Hello YouTube. I just came back from vacation. I was out of state for 6 days and wow, is the garden a crazy mess. The neighbors' pine trees, endless pine needles all over the yard, weeds like crazy, and while I was gone it was 116 degrees here and it just killed some things. So I thought I would take you on a quick tour of the damage. I'm going to clean up what I can and try to help it back to health, but this late in the season and it's still in the high 90s to 100 here, it may not be completely salvageable. But if you've seen past videos of my garden tours, this is parsley that I'm letting go to seed. A lot of it turned yellow-brown and is dying off, and that's okay because I think the top parts are already letting their seeds go. As long as I have a couple seeds, it'll be fine. That was a plant I planted 3 years ago, and I just let it go to seed every year, and I've never had to plant it again since then. This is a Sweet 100 tomato, which you can see has a lot of dead foliage on it, and one thing that all of the small tomatoes did was they kind of almost rotted on the vine. Oh, I tried to show you that. Trying to show you. See this kind of damage right here? Sorry, my kids interrupted me. So this kind of damage right here where they just kind of shriveled up and died whether they were ripe or not. So I've got a lot of these types of things going on. And the ones that were ripe when I came home tasted rotten. Like, they looked beautiful, but they were just baked inside. So this one's a yellow pear. That's a Sweet 100. And I have both of these planted in another spot too, and I'll show you those. Right here dying at my feet was a bell pepper that just couldn't handle life. I thought it could. I'm not doing great with my bell peppers this year. Normally it's not a problem for me, but this one was a new baby when I was trying, and even though it's in a more shaded spot, it just still shriveled up in the heat. My cucumbers were the only things that did really okay. I posted on Instagram. I'm Daily Ration with Alicia on Instagram if you want to check that out. These are my pickling cucumbers, these are my snacking cucumbers. A lot of people, their cucumbers died. I don't know why mine did well because they are in full sun right here, but they were fine, except for the fact that even though I had friends I told to come over and pick whatever they wanted, and some told me they did, I came back to pickling cucumbers the size of my forearm. It was ridiculously huge. Come through here, you can see all the weeds and grass coming through, which all my weeds pretty much are grass. Peppers on the tips got a little much, but this is a shaded area too. Those are poblanos, which I have one on there. I've got a couple bell peppers down in there. Don't know if you can see it. That is a banana pepper. I've pruned a few off of those. There's a couple that are green right now. Over here, I have a feeling a neighborhood cat got into this spot right here because it's falling over. This is another poblano. These were like multicolored ones in here, and these are the ones I'm not getting fruit off of this year, which normally I am loaded with bell peppers. So this one is like, what is going on? Okay, so back here is a red flame seedless grape that I was so excited about because it had so much fruit this year. It's its third year, so it's finally fruiting, but we had a late, weird spring, and it got powdery mildew. And I did the milk spray, and that worked for stopping the mildew, and I trimmed off dead foliage. That's why there's so much of a gap right there. But it didn't save my grapes because, as you can see, this is what they looked like a month ago when I stopped the mildew. It hasn't changed, it hasn't gotten worse, but those aren't growing. They are still as tiny as they were, and they're not ripening. So I think I'm really sad. I'm just really sad because I'm hoping to move next year. So this is my last year of getting grapes off of this thing. So it makes me so sad. Down here is another small pepper. It's finally getting a few small ones on it. I do have some jalapenos that are doing well right here. There's like 30 jalapenos on there. They're kind of disguised. So this row right here, let me take you this way. This row of tomatoes is my, I'm pretty sure these are celebrities. The one on the end here, it's been struggling from the beginning. I think it might actually have some kind of blight, but the sun did not help it because it was looking like this, and now it looks like that. It had some foliage issues, but for the most part, this has done okay. It just stopped producing because Man, I need to cap those. Does anybody know if you can like trim the tops of tomato bushes and still get tomatoes? What was I saying? Oh, now it's not producing now because it's still in the 100 degrees and tomato plants are sterile at 95. So it just didn't, it's not making any more. When the temperature drops, it'll make them again. Over here, okay, so these are sun golds. It's the first year I've grown sun golds, and it was the same thing here with the other, like with the sweet 100s and the yellow pear. They were like rotten inside if you tasted them. They're burnt. I've been trying to pick a bunch off. I must have thrown away like 80 tiny tomatoes that were just shriveled or soft and smushy. This was a new one I tried. It was a heirloom Japanese something that's supposed to turn, that I swear it takes forever to ripen. That thing has been there forever. It's supposed to turn purple, but that one is mushy right now. I'm gonna have to take it off. But the bush itself is also just not doing well. The baby orange tree has some oranges this year. To the really weedy area here. Zucchinis are doing okay. I put them in a slightly shadier space, hoping for a few less this year. Isn't that weird? The tomatoes that were already on the vine, on those ones I just showed you, are actually doing well because there was so much foliage above them that they were shaded. I only had to pull like 3 of those. This row of tomatoes right here is, it's first of all, it's 2 things. There's beans on one side, tomatoes on the other. I thought the beans would grow and die off faster, but they're still producing. These are beefsteak tomatoes, and again, I have another one that I think has a wilt disease back in there. It got a little more sun from the other side, and it's just really, it was dry. It's struggling. That's all I can say about it. It's just struggling. The bean plants are drying up on top. They had some flowers, but they're dropping flowers. I don't think that it's done well in the heat at all. And then back over here, here's my mint and nasturtium coming up. I want to show you the last of this is the other sweet 100s, and see what this is like. I don't know how well you can see that. It's all crazy shrivelly, and I just keep pulling them off. And I'm trying to find, okay, see, this is what here's a yellow pear. Here's what they did if they weren't ripe. Can you see that like grossness? It's like all shriveled up, yellow or brown. Trying to focus on it. It's just dying. And so I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna try to trim off all the dead stuff and see what can be salvaged, if there's anything that actually has to be pulled all the way. And I might do another follow-up video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see it after I've tried to salvage the garden to see what lives and all that. Because where I am in Southern California, even though it's mid-July, I usually grow through October. So I should have lots of time left. So it makes me really sad to pull stuff this early. So that's the post-vacation garden died while I was gone update. And let me know if you want to see that follow-up video. Okay, see you in the next video.